How you doing, Elijah? Great.
In your universe, there's only one Spider-Man. But there is another universe. It looks and sounds like yours, but it's not.
Hey, kid. You're like me.
People say that this film really touches them, and that is sort of the thing that has shocked me the most. Hearing how much this film has touched people just brought excitement and happiness to their lives.
In 2018, 26.5 million Americans tuned in to watch the Oscars.
Greetings from Hollywood to our viewers all around the world. Thank you for watching.
Here are the nominees for Best Picture.
This year, they're hoping for just as many. One of the movies nominated is called Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, and it's been nominated for its groundbreaking animation style. I'm Elijah Sandiford, and I had the opportunity to have a conversation with one of the art directors for this movie.
Hi, I'm Patrick OKeefe. I'm one of the art directors on Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Tell me a little bit about yourself and what you do for this movie and this film.
And the art director's responsibility is to help design the world, the look, the feel, the lighting, the characters, all that of the film.
So everybody's been talking about this new groundbreaking animation style. So can you tell me a little bit more on that?
For us to pull off the film the way we wanted to, originally we just started drawing and sketching and coming up with cool ideas with no real concern as to how we would actually make it. Once we started using some of the more traditional CG animation tools, we found out we needed to push these things further. We couldn't just rely on 3D animation. We needed to rely on some of the old school 2D animation hand-drawn techniques. Once we did that, we knew we had to keep going. And we started removing things like lens blur. In a movie, you're watching everything through a lens and things blur out and come back into focus as they get closer to the camera. In a comic book, that doesn't exist. So we needed to come up with new and creative ideas to accomplish these same cinematic tools. So we did what is called a CMYK offset. When comic books used to be printed, the colors laid down in layers, and sometimes those layers don't line up properly, and you get a little bit of red on one side and a little bit of blue on another side. We decided to use that process to replicate the idea of focus, but in a more comic book way.
Patrick, could you talk me through your favorite scene in the movie and how exactly you went through the process of making it?
I think one of my favorite scenes in the film is the scene where Uncle Aaron and Miles get together to do some graffiti. We had to build all the different layers of the mural just like you would if you were to do an actual spray paint graffiti mural. I love the scene because it's a moment where we get to see Miles and his uncle really connect on something that is both part of themselves and their heritage, while Miles is about to take this transition into becoming Spider-Man.
What is it about this movie that resonates with kids so well?
I think this movie resonates with kids so well because we're telling it from the point of view of a kid. It's about Miles. It's about this biracial, bilingual kid growing up in Brooklyn. He's just a kind of a regular kid who's trying to discover himself as an adult, who he's going to become. And we wanted to celebrate all these things that just make him sort of a normal kid, to show that anybody can wear the mask, anybody is unique.
As a kid, did you ever wonder or think that you'd ever be a part of something this big?
I could not have imagined being involved in anything this big. This film is now getting a lot of accolades, and we're up for the Academy Award, which is so exciting. But I could never have imagined that that interest, that involvement, that hard work would have ever gotten me to a position like this. Like for real, I was a kid growing up in Toronto, and I remember we had an artist come by, another Toronto-based artist who's in the film industry down here in LA, and when he came and talked, I was just like, oh my God, anything's possible. You know, it really matters as a kid to hear those things.
Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse may or may not win the Oscar, but it's already changed the way people look at animation. For CBC Kids News, I'm Elijah Sandiford.
Peace.